Welcome back to the 2 Months Podcast presented by Boston Pizza. I'm your host, Joshua Marshall, and he is back. It's been a while, and the glass shatters, and the music comes down, and he gives me a stone cold stunner. We have Philip Stockley. Phil, big time Flames fan. He's back in the saddle. How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really good, and looks like you're in the saddle right now. Hey,
Yes, I'm in the bowels of the Saddle Dome right now, just up in the press box, up in the big seats over here, or the nosebleeds, or whatever you want to call. So, yeah, we're over here. Just finished the game. The Calgary Flames lose to the Vancouver Canucks 4-3 in overtime. Sorry, shootout. It was a tough loss for the Flames after going into a third with the lead. I thought it was a good game. I thought Uyghur played good. I thought Huberto played good. The leaders stepped up. Michael Backlund left the game. We don't know what his extent is. So we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens there after the game. There wasn't much of an update on his condition going forward. So we'll see. But obviously, something enough to keep him out of the lineup the rest of the night. What did you think of tonight's game?
yeah, it was good, and those guys said in their uh, pregame today, and I'm sure you were there for that. That they were ready to go today. They were ready to play, and kind of a playoff feel for this game tonight. Um, it's always good to see guys like Kadri kind of in on everything. Huberto getting two huge goals. Um, I kind of was chatting with you a little bit during the game too. Like, I wish some guys would have the same um, fight as a guy like Lomberg.
Mhm.
Like, the guy doesn't put up the points and the goals, but you watch him out there, he's always moving his feet, he's always back checking, he's always trying to finish his hits. Um, I really liked his game tonight too. A guy like that. I thought, honestly, unfortunate for Hanley that one went in off of his foot, that first goal. I thought he actually had a good game too tonight. Um, so yeah, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Like you said in the chat to me that Kadri just shows up at the biggest times when the games matter the most. And tonight, where we sit for our podcast seat here at the in the Saddle Dome, we're right next to all the scouts and GMs and whatnot that are in town to watch the game. So I get lucky in that way that the last seat in the media row is the last seat, and then everything to my left is executives from the National Hockey League. So Andrew Cogliano was sitting next to me, and Gerard Bednar was sitting next to him. So we had another member of the Colorado staff there as well too. So they've been in Calgary for 3 days, and just kind of hearing them, and the fact that they were talking about Uyghur played really well, and Coronado played really well. So it was really nice to see, and raving about that. And obviously, Wolf, it's very well documented of what his performance and what he's meant to this team down the stretch. And there's a lot of hockey left. It's going to be tight. Every game is a must win. I thought it was an opportunity loss. Eric Francis hit on it post game with some of the guys in the scrums in terms of it. It is because um, like some of the guys, the media guys, when so the way it works after the 10-minute mark, we all go down to the Ed Whalen Media Lounge, and we just hover around there and watch the game on the TV before the game is over. Then we go into the locker room right after, and then Huska comes back to the Ed Whalen Media Lounge to finish up. And um, I thought I thought some of the guys talked about it in a good way in terms of, not good for the Flames, but good for the Canucks. Is if you win this game, you get 2 points, you're pretty much 6 points ahead of the Canucks. And where are the Canucks going to gain that ground down the stretch? Like they got to win 12 of 19 to gain that, and the Flames would just have to go eight and win eight of their next 19 or nine of their next 19 or 18 to do that too. So it's kind of was interesting to hear that perspective. And now they're even, so that terms of an opportunity loss, and it's going to be a dogfight down the stretch here. And they get a point, but you want the 2 points, and you got a tough test coming in on Friday night. The Colorado Avalanche, they're well rested, had a few days off, some team bonding with some new players there. Um, it'll be it's going to be a tough one there. But and again, I thought Kevin Rooney, obviously friend of the pod, the Rune Dog, I thought he played good. He went 8 for 2 in the faceoffs. Just a really solid game. Got that assist on the game-winning goal, or that game's goal there on the shorthanded with Huberto, and just the chemistry.
I wish it was the game-winning goal, Bosco.
Oh, I know. I wish it was too. But again, I thought it was good. I thought their performance and the Flames are good. They're a good team. They're going to get down the stretch. I had them in the playoffs before the season started. I still think they get there. I don't know where you're at with them and who you're liking now and who do you want to see more from in terms of that. Obviously Zari, he seems like he's slow coming back from his injury, and if you can get him going,
Yeah.
that'll be big, right?
Well, I would just say, and I'm no head coach. I'm no hockey coach. I know we've got some great coaches on this podcast with
Rough or bro.
Rupper and Brody, and um,
Yeah.
but I just felt like this was a pretty important game for the team and a pretty important one for the Flames and their fans, to get that extra point on the Canucks, and I just didn't quite understand the um, putting the guys who are kind of struggling right now, and Rasmus Anderson and Sharon Govich out in the shootout. Obviously, coach probably knows them a lot better than I do. Maybe he knew something that I didn't, but just from a fan's perspective, I would have liked to have seen a guy like maybe Kadri shoot, a guy who was ready to go tonight, ready to play, and was looking good. You even I might even put a Matt Coronado ahead of those guys too,
Yeah.
and even probably Zari too. Um,
I understand you looked at the stats
unfortunate,
because Anderson is 2 for 2 in shootouts, but he just didn't have the game that you would normally see him from normally, right?
yeah. And
That's
we love Raz, like we love him, and it's tough to watch right now. But I feel like he is kind of fighting it a little bit.
yeah.
I said it to you during the broadcast too. It's like every time I feel like lately a goal is being scored, the camera's going on his face as he's skating off the ice. Like I don't know, I
Was
don't know what's up there.
Yeah, it's like what's going on in this situation. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens there in terms of getting him going again. And these games should be something that he's obviously looking forward to, and I think it will. I think he'll be better on Friday night. And it's a really good test again, and they got to get it. They got to get this game on Friday.
Yeah, it's like I think Huska said it today. Like every game's almost a must win now.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it is. He said that post game. Tried to get in there with another comment, but he had a lot of questions coming at him tonight. So got to ask Huberto about his chemistry with with Rooney on the penalty kill. And again, Rooney had a really good game, and Huberto is leading the way with this team, and so is Kadri. And I think that's good. Coleman as well. So they got some guys with some cups, obviously, in Coleman and Kadri. Got some cups
Yeah.
in that locker room, and I think that's important to have those guys down the stretch. And um, it's unfortunate when you swallow an opportunity like this, but another day, you get the point that you much
You're still in it, right?
yeah
Like that's the thing. Like and you're still sitting in a playoff spot tonight.
yeah exactly. And I think they're
And
yeah.
no, totally. And that's just it. I'll let you finish your thought and then I'm gonna go somewhere else really quick with you.
Yeah, I just thought it was really fun to see the atmosphere here, and I thought that the team, the opportunity was good. Backlund missing was a big loss, but and hopefully it's not too long. But um, and I thought the guy stepped up in terms of his absence down for the last 40 minutes of the game, and we'll see where that trend's going forward here. And I know he was a little bit banged up going into the Four Nations, and hopefully didn't re-aggravate any injury that he was nursing, or this is a new injury and it's just not long term. But they're definitely going to need him going into this stretch run. But yeah, I'll toss it to you. What do you got? What's your next? We'll move over to the next segment here with
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah.
Bring it in, Bosco.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So our new segment, this with Phil Stockley here, into our next hit. And thanks to our friends at Shadified Salon and Barbershop, and our friends at Martalou Barbershop in Calgary. Both of them sponsor the Flames and the Oilers. Obviously, Shadified does not; they sponsor the Oilers, but Martalou in Calgary, they sponsor the Flames report, and our Flames insider is Phil Stockley. He is as you guys see in the background. But what do you have, Phil? What's your next? What do you got on the docket here? What is on your mind?
Well, no, I'm just, I just feel like just so Mutts fans are kind of understanding the Flame situation here. So, um, you go back to this guy right here, Johnny Gaudreau, his rookie season. Calgary was in the same situation kind of that season too. And then this guy, Johnny Gaudreau, came onto the scene and kind of fast-tracked their retool or rebuild or whatever you want to call it. And now you kind of feel like the same thing is happening now with Dustin Wolf, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, it's just kind of a little bit of an interesting situation with Calgary, with like where they're at in regards to this year's first round draft pick that they own, right? So, the understanding I have, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but if they finish in the bottom 10 of the
Stand.
league,
Yeah.
they keep their first round pick, and Montreal will
Higher.
get Florida's pick.
Correct. That is correct.
Yes, and this goes back to the Sean Monahan trade. Yeah, Calgary gave this pick away, their first round pick, so that Montreal would take Sean Monahan.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I going back to everything, I feel like, this has got to either turn one of two ways. We either make the playoffs or we finish in that bottom 10.
Yeah.
And it's like, as a Flames fan, like when you think about the big picture, you're kind of like, I'm okay if they slide down into that bottom 10 and pick in the top 10.
Well, I think they're good at.
But then as an actual Flames fan, you're like, no, like we got to go for the playoffs. Like we got to get in here and we got to, hopefully maybe upset a team in the first round.
Kind of like Seattle did when they upset Colorado that couple of years ago, right? In terms of like no one saw them getting in their second year in the league, and then they upset the defending Stanley Cup champs. So it'll be interesting to see if the Flames do get in and where that kind of if they do get in, where they lie and who they match up against. But yeah, I think they're good on the.
Because they're not that far out of that bottom 10 either. Like that's
Well,
the crazy thing about this.
they're not, and I think they're good. They're well stocked on the back end in the farm system and the prospects. They're well stocked in goaltender as we see. Maybe just another bite up front and forward could give them that, but still they're still gonna. This is a good draft, but next year's draft is a deeper draft. So I think in terms of that, you want to recruit as many assets as you possibly can and not give up these draft picks going forward because you don't know what happens next year, but they have a lot of cap space. I don't know if they're going to be in on Mitchell Marner. I don't know where they're at in that. They might be a year away from, offering anyone any big time money come free agency. But I think Conroy's done a good job. They're just hovering around that right spot. You know what? And I'm sure that like if they get down the stretch, this arena is going to start get bumping again here too. Like tonight was a tough loss, but I assume this building will be rocking on a Friday night against Colorado in town. Everyone's going to want to watch the Nate Dogg and other guys get going here, but I think there's going to be a real appetite for a big game come Friday night. And Wolf is the real deal. And anyone that doesn't think he is, like, look at today, Jonathan Quick re-signed with the New York Rangers, and he's going to be 40 here coming up, and that is who Wolf is. It's who he looks up to. Wears the same number
Yeah.
as him and plays the same. And I'm sitting, and you're lucky and you're grateful and you're blessed for these opportunities, and you'll get these experiences too, Phil. But you're sitting next to NHL executives, and Andrew Cogliano, who played over 1,000 games, is raving the whole entire game about how good Wolf is, and you got the head coach on the other end of him too. It's cool to kind of hear other teams talking about how good he is. So, and that's a good thing because the Flames did a good job. He's a seventh round draft pick, and he's going to be
Well, and
a goaltender.
that's what I was gonna say. It's like the amount of people who message me, like I could show you my phone. Who is this Wolf kid? Who is Wolf? Where did they get him from? Where's he from? I'm like, I remember that draft. I remember 2019. He was like the fourth last pick in the whole draft.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, was it like 200 and
yeah.
is
He
it's
was
like,
late. He was seventh round pick. He was late. But he was never really respected, touted. Like he didn't get a lot of love, but he look what he did. Everywhere he went, he won. He got better and better and better and better. In Everett, he was really good. So Junior Sharks, really good. He came up through the system, and this he kept doubting him, size, and he's overdone himself in
yeah,
terms of like what people think about him. And he is the real deal. I think he's a stud goaltender for the next 10, maybe 15 years in this organization, and Vladar is jumping in on good starts too. So do you have something there? I know you're pulling something up.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
No, 214th overall,
yeah,
and there's 217 players picked in the draft.
yeah. So right,
And Dustin Wolf was at the draft that year,
yeah,
and he sat there through every single
round.
pick. He sat there for 214 picks. And when the Flames called his name, I remember seeing him get up and walk down to the stage to get his jersey.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And he got it, and he's doing good now. So it's good to see
yeah,
that he's a good guy. CAA client too. Obviously, we've done some work with some CAA players before in terms of Sam Gerard. We're going to see Friday night, and Patrick Kane, Matt Duchesne. With Pat Brisson's group there, but great people. Chatted with Pat today, and really good guy as well too. Um, I know we didn't want to go too long, so we got a bit of a hike back up to Edmonton, but
yeah,
any
we got a snowfall warning again too, Bosco.
yeah, just try to get home before it gets too crazy. But
Yeah.
what's your anything you want to jump in and ask? I think we're getting 10, 15 centimeters of snow, but anything you want to jump in and add before we sign off here? And it's great to have you back in the saddle. We have a special mystery guest coming on sometime soon here, so stay tuned to that. That's going to be kind of cool. But yeah, he'll be a frequent guest as we get going. But yeah, we'll get Vandy back, Rupper back, Brody back. They've been coaching all year, and obviously Brody's kids, they're still playing hockey. I know Ozzy's team. I think they got unfortunately. I think they lost out there to the Junior Oilers Orange, but they're still coaching. The Ruppers youngest kid and Ruppers head coach, Brody's assistant coach, they're off to provincial. So congratulations to them. They just won a championship, and Zach Ruptash is having a year for the ages in St. Albert as well. And then I know your boys were just playing too, and a tough loss for them. But anything you want to
Yeah,
add before sign out?
they lost in the finals. The Theo's team there lost in the finals out in New Sarepta. Owen still last year of U9, so he's got a couple games left, but that's about it for us in out there.
Yeah,
But yeah, nothing really to wrap it up. I just, I'm gonna just say like Calgary's they're still there. They're still in a spot.
yeah,
Look out for the St. Louis Blues.
correct. Yeah.
Um, I don't know if I'm too worried about the Canucks.
No, if this win could do something for them, but I don't know. We'll see. Like Pedersen looked good tonight. He got that goal, but it, that it was yeah. We'll see what happens. I do think the Flames
There's been a lot of damage done on that team this year, right? Like in the locker room and
yeah,
in the media, and
yeah,
you look at the locker room down like right now, like you're in the Saddle Dome. You go look at the Canucks room versus the Flames room. It's probably night and day.
yeah. You got that right. You got that right. All right.
But
Yeah, we'll be back later this week with another episode. Thanks for Phil for jumping back on, and appreciate you being in the mix again. And And I know we got some cool events coming up with some minor hockey teams and some kids. So stay tuned to that on the social media front. Uh,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, you're going to
Yeah,
be.
no, buddy. Sorry, I was late jumping in tonight too. I was gonna say the this daylight savings time just
Oh,
messes around with the kids, man. They won't go to sleep at night anymore.
yeah, it messes with everyone. It does for sure. But
Yeah, so
okay, all right. Well, we'll chat very soon.
anyways.
You have yourself a good one, and let's keep in touch. And everyone, be kind, and let's stay humble, and let's enjoy the playoff ride as it is, because the NHL is on fire right now.